Sir,
Good morning. How are you?
I can't believe Christmas is this week.
I know. It's our last show before Christmas.
Yeah.
Last show
It's like
before.
our last real show of the year because I don't know what I'm going to be able to do next week.
Oh,
Maybe we'll have to
right.
do like an after hours or something, but I think this is the last official news show.
Right, because you're going to be on the Celebrity Reflection.
There's so many firsts coming with this sailing. Like, I've never sailed with just my husband.
That blows my mind.
It's
That is
always been
insane.
with
That
friends
is insane.
or my kid. And I've never done a New Year's cruise, a holiday cruise in essence.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm jealous of that.
I mean, I've gone over Thanksgiving, but like New Year's Eve is usually like,
Yeah, I've gone over
you.
Thanksgiving, and it didn't really feel that different. Like, I don't know why. Sailing over Thanksgiving just didn't. I don't know. It didn't. I don't know. It didn't feel like something crazy like being over there on Christmas or New Year. I mean, there's going to be a big party. I mean, you're going to have fun. I mean, you're going to celebrate the New Year on a cruise ship, which is great.
I may or may not have purchased a dress specifically for New Year's for
Good.
the sailing.
Of course, you should have.
It's like very Great Gatsby. It's like rose gold with the sequins that kind of hang a little bit. So like,
Love
you know,
it.
they I've been trying to
Love it.
not in front of Jeff, and I keep doing the rolling river because it's just
That's funny.
flailing everywhere. He thinks I'm ridiculous. So you guys, if you are on Facebook watching, I just posted a comment that if you want your name visible, that's the link you have to click on for Facebook. Because there is privacy that you have to click past on Facebook to show your name.
Or if you just make a comment, just do like dash your name, and we'll see who it is.
Yes. But we have a couple of things to talk about, Jason. We were going to talk about some questions. We got so many questions
I know.
on our question of the day with only so much time. Let me grab it. Here we go. So Rich wants to know how long before Royal follows Carnival's lead in making onboard casinos smoke-free. I thought most cruises, I mean, maybe most ships I've been on recently, I haven't smelled smoke. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a long time coming. I mean, a lot of the more premium cruise lines have been doing this for years, right? I mean, I've never been on a celebrity cruise and seen smoking in a casino, like ever anywhere. So I think this is a long time coming. I'm actually shocked it took Carnival and Royal Caribbean this long. Especially because it's just not the same as in Vegas. Like, well, you can smoke casinos in Vegas. Yeah, but it's very different, right? Vegas, they are wide. They're ballrooms, basically, right?
They are. Absolutely.
And their ventilations. I mean, I am so sensitive to cigarette smoke, and I can walk to the casinos. But I can walk to the casino in Vegas, and it doesn't bother me one bit because they do such a good job with the ventilation systems, and so.
I mean, I grew up working in my first front desk job, and actually my first more so real job, aside from housekeeping in another hotel, was at a casino resort.
Right.
And it was a Native American owned casino resort, and they sold their cigarettes and whatnot.
Right.
And it was tough. It was not as big as Vegas. Like, you know, I mean, like it was a pretty big game.
Oh.
Still, I will never forget. Funny story. I walked past this one lady at the beginning of my shift at 4 p.m. and at the end of my shift at midnight, and she was smoking 3 to 4 cigarettes at a time. Slot machine. We'll never forget it. Never forget it. Burned into.
I guess is that the smoking equivalent of like double fisting when you're out drinking?
I guess so. It was quite a sight. I mean, like you see some of those people, you know, just they'd be at the same machine for my entire shift.
No, that's gross. Well, that's a good pre-show topic. We have one more question, right? Pre-show.
We do, and we do have a comment in here from JJ Cruz. They just made Harmony of the Seas smoke free.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is coming. I could see them never going back. I mean, it needs to be. I mean, it's gross. It's
All
gross.
right, we have another question. This is probably good for you, Jason. Robert wants to know, can we use vaccine information on our phone to board the cruise? Like, I have the Excelsior pass.
Right. So right now the answer is going to be no. You always want to carry your actual vaccine card, but a lot of cruise lines are now letting you upload a photo of the vaccine card before you go, and they verify its authenticity. And so, like when I was on the Edge a week ago, I showed up with my passport, my vaccine card, and the person kind of glanced at the vaccine card. He goes, "Oh, you already uploaded a photo of it." I would still always bring the physical copy because
And I mean, it's not a bad idea to bring the physical copy and then take a picture.
oh, I keep a
Both
picture of my
sides.
I keep a picture of my passport and the vaccine card.
Yep, I put it in my LastPort Vault app on my phone. That's where all of my passports are. You can store personal information, have that dual auth.
Right.
That wouldn't be a bad idea because God forbid you do lose it.
Right.
When you're out and about, it's always good to have a backup. I know Davide said in Italy, he had somebody that lost their vaccine card, but they had a photo of it with their passport, and that was okay.
Good. Well,
So
good.
there were so many questions. We at least wanted to highlight a couple during our pre-show. We have 3 more minutes till we start at the top of the hour. We head back over to the chat box.
Happy solstice, by the way.
Happy solstice. And speaking of the solstice, don't we have a group cruise on the solstice?
We do in August 2022, Alaska. My
So
first time to Alaska. I'm excited. Haley and I did the solstice in 2019, right? Repositioning Hawaii to Vancouver. That was a lot of fun.
Isn't that crazy? That was 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yes, it is crazy.
These last 2 years, almost now, have felt like a blur. Like,
sir. Blur. So never mind. It was a Hamilton reference.
I thought it was just Burr and then sir.
I know. I was just making him.
Foul. Shame.
No, I think there is a line that says it's a blur, sir. I think.
I'm going to fact check you after this broadcast.
I think so. I really do. I really think there is.
So. We have some really exciting things today. So we're going to be going over top news articles, but Jason actually found the Travel Weekly Reader's Choice Awards, and we picked, of course, the most popular categories: cruise, air, hotel, and rental car. I think those are kind of your biggies. I mean, there's more in there that you guys can read. We can post it in the group today. But I love Travel Weekly. I've actually been itching to get a paper subscription as much as you make fun of me for that.
Oh no, I have Vogue over here. Like I paper. I
finally got my Vogue.
Good. I don't really read them a lot. That's just pretty on the coffee table, But
I have a throwback moment on Travel Weekly though. So my college, because I went to school for hospitality, travel, and tourism, used to get Travel Weeklies, and the head of the department had so many. She was going to start getting rid of them. I was like, can I have them? And I actually took, here I was 18 years old, and that's how I kind of did part of my office area in my apartment, is I took the covers for all these Travel Weeklies and did kind of like a montage of all the places I wanted to go.
That's fun. I love it. That's fun. That is fun. So, well, it is top of the hour. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for watching our pre-show. It is Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. So that means it is time for Today in Travel. This is our weekly travel news show. We cover everything in the travel world, from cruising to resorts to hotels to rental cars.
All of it.
Everything that relates to travel. I am Jason Poole, a travel expert, a travel advisor with Cruise Planners, which is an American Express travel representative. Joining me this holiday season, Miss Haley. How are you?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Haley. I have been in the hotel industry for 14 years. I own a hotel sales support company, worked with many brands all over this country, and I am a very avid travel blogger who likes cruising, hopping over to Europe, pretty much travel in all its forms. And I love joining you here every Tuesday at 11
Awesome.
p.m. Eastern.
Well, talking about Europe, our first news article is really all about Europe. So ITA is the Italian national airline, in a sense. They are basically the successor to Alitalia. It's basically Alitalia with just a different name. For those who don't know, Alitalia used to be a member of SkyTeam, which was the consortium with Delta. And so Delta and Alitalia used to work together a lot with code sharing in in Europe, mainly in Italy. So ITA, I don't think is going to join SkyTeam. The government said that they want to be able to work with One World and the Star Alliance, but they are officially now code sharing with Delta. And what that means, guys, is your Delta flight, there were people who were on that flight who booked it with ITA. Okay.
When you book it, you'll see in the small print,
Mhm.
serviced by ITA or serviced by Virgin Atlantic as well.
Right. So look, and likewise, you could book a Delta flight and be on an ITA, right?
100%.
Right. So it can so they work together a lot. So ITA is kind of now an unofficial member of SkyTeam, right? And they're just leaving the door open to work with, the other consortiums. So this is great news if you are a fan of going to Italy, as I know Miss Haley is. So
And
great news.
also to tag onto that, Jason, I'm in the process of doing it. They're doing some status matching on ITA right now. So I just submitted my information to see if I can get a status match, especially since I'm
Okay.
heading across back to Italy in April at the very least. So make sure you look out for those status match options.
And talking about Delta, IT in Italy, Delta is really doubling down on Italy. Lots of new routes, like JFK Atlanta are doing multiple flights a day nonstop. I mean, Delta is doubling down on Italy, and ITA's partnership is going to be great. So, all right. Well, guys, if you are a fan of Las Vegas like I am, I love Las Vegas. Might be going in the spring for something. I am so excited about this. So MGM, the Mirage at MGM is just an iconic building. Looks a little dated at this point, but
it is an icon, though. She is an icon.
It's an icon. Well, the icon's about to change. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Hard Rock International purchased the rights to operate the Mirage, and it was a $1 billion deal, and they are going to transform the Mirage into a hotel shaped, I'm sorry, a guitar shaped hotel. So they've done it in Florida. I've seen the one in Florida. I've seen every time. It's cool. It's very cool. So the Mirage as we know it is going to look very different. And as a fan of the Venetian, when you stare across and see the Mirage, and I'm like, it's iconic, but it's a little bit of an eyesore. I'm kind
of a little sprucing up.
It needs a little sprucing up. It's like, let's not get into Golden Nugget territory here with the.
You know how much Jason loves Fremont and the Golden Nugget.
Jesus Christ. So it's gonna be cool. So I think it's gonna be a neat addition. But I think the north part of the strip needs a little bit more, right?
I mean, you're starting to see that with the additions that the Wind's adding, and you've got Resort World up there now too.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, I love the Venetian, but it's kind of just not by itself. But there's just not a lot.
You gotta hike out the cool stuff when you're drinking.
You do. I mean, I've done it. It is 1 mile from Cosmo to the Venetian. 1 mile. Like, I mean, it's a hike. I've done it, right? And so it's going to be cool to have more stuff at the north end of the strip. So great news. I'm excited. Okay. Some not great news.
So we keep it fair, balanced, and unafraid here.
We do. So Royal Caribbean announced 48 passengers tested positive for COVID-19 on the most recent sailing of the Symphony of the Seas. Luckily, all of them had mild to no symptoms, which to me, it shows like the vaccines are working, right? No one,
Yeah.
I think maybe that we did a poor job early on in saying like the vaccine will keep you from getting COVID. No, the vaccine's going to keep you from dying or being hospitalized or having severe symptoms. So this is good news that no one's died. It's bad news that these breakthrough cases are happening. But guys, this is just part of
This is
being
going to happen.
this is part of being a human right now. It stinks, but it's just the way it is.
Viruses mutate all the time. And, the research that's coming out of it, especially the newer variant, the Omicron variant, is that if you are vaccinated, boosted, and get this,
right,
with the antibodies, you're like a superhero.
right, right. So, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. So, also, a little bit of negative news also is the CDC has added 8 places to its highest risk level. The top of the list is my favorite, Spain. They're highly encouraging you to avoid Spain, Bonaire, and some other places. So if you have trips to Spain planned or Bonaire, maybe look at some options. Make sure you're up to date on the protocols, because protocols are changing.
That's what it is, and just as we always say, we are a high risk place for everywhere else in the world to travel to.
Yeah, I know a lot of people in Nashville that have COVID right now, like a lot. It's time for me to start double masking again when I go out.
Well, I mean, I saw the statistic that out of all the new cases, actually 73% of them are the Omicron variant right now. And
yep. No, it is. So, which leads us to a really, really great question.
Yes.
So you're traveling, Haley, and you test positive for COVID-19 when you're traveling. What do you do?
So I'm about to face this possibility. I have to do a test on Friday.
Yep.
And if I get my result before I fly on Friday, because I'm flying late afternoon.
Yep.
If I get my test before that and it's positive, I will stay home, cruise with confidence, my cruise, cancel the air, take my credits, quarantine in place. If I don't have my results and I go to Florida, I will probably extend my stay the week at the hotel that I'm staying at for 2 nights prior. Let that work its way out. No, I mean, if I'm going to have to quarantine it, I'm okay quarantining with a beach view. If I have to.
Sure.
And then just going with the protocols, calling the airline, seeing like, okay, what are my stops? When can I fly home?
Right.
Or if it's a better option that I rent a car and drive home.
Home. Okay, so here's a question. Let's say you're in Europe and you have to do a test to come home, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we have to have a test within 24 hours to re-enter the United States. So you're in Rome, which you've been to once or twice, and you have to do your test to come home, and you are positive. Your flight is the next morning. What do you do?
I would probably, me personally, I would do the extension. I would book a week, staying in place. I was
thinking who would you call first?
Well, is Jeff with me or not?
Jeff is not with you. So, okay, Jeff. I'm like a professional.
Darn, sorry, Jeff. I'm staying in Italy. Like, darn, gosh, golly gee. But then I would call the airline and be like, okay, I got my test back. I'm negative. I'm quarantining in place.
You're positive. You're positive.
Because I believe in Europe, you also have to, that EU locator form, you will have to report in there as well if the testing agency doesn't already.
Right.
So, I mean, I would just take my little travel insurance. I would book a hotel with a really nice view and eat Italian food for a week or so. What would you do if it was a cruise? Let's start with cruise first.
Well, so a cruise is weird because you don't test to get off the cruise. So these 48 people had to either be crew members or consecutive cruisers. So when you get off the reflection, you will not take a test to get off. So you won't know if you're positive. Okay.
Yeah.
So so I guess if I was doing a back-to-back cruise, they would kick me off, put me in a hotel, and I'd call the airline to fly home in a week or so. So the first call I would make would be to the airline. Work with the airline or to Allianz, the travel insurance company, right? Like, call them. Hey, here's what's happened. What do you want me to do? Most airlines are being very flexible, moving you around to 7 to 10 days out to get you home after you have the virus has moved through.
I actually got a text from my brother that says he got COVID.
Oh, well, right now?
Just now, because I have my iMessage up because Olivia has lunch during this period, so if she needs something, I always keep it up. Down in New York, we're blaming it all on SantaCon for the city people. The anime convention and SantaCon.
Oh my God! Wow. Okay. Well, let's move along, and then call your brother. Let's move along. So we have a great tip of the day.
Sorry.
I'll take it from here, but you can kind of focus for a moment. All right, guys. So if you book an airline flight with miles, so Sky Miles, any kind of award miles, those are refundable.
And so flexible.
And very flexible, okay? So you can cancel normally for free or for a teeny tiny fee, like a tax. It's single dollar sometimes, $6. It's very small, right? So let's say you book an award ticket with miles, and it's 60,000 miles, and you keep checking in, like, oh my goodness, this flight is now 40,000 miles. You can cancel your original flight, get all the 60,000 back, and book it again at 40,000. So keep checking your flight prices if you paid with miles. With dollars, it's harder. You could cancel, get a credit. It's a little harder with dollars because those are typically non-refundable prices. But if it's miles, you have a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, I actually just did that myself. So when we did our shift around for London and decided to go on reflection instead, looking at airfare last minute to Florida, this is one of the things that blows my mind. A lot of people are always like, oh my gosh, how do you go to Europe? Because during these high demand times when kids are on break here, it's cheaper to fly to Europe.
Oh, yeah.
It was so crazy. So when I was looking last minute, the airfare was going to be like $1,200 round trip. And I was like, oh, God, I am not paying that for a flight to Florida. Like, Jeff and I went back and forth. I'm like, do you know what? I have so many miles at this point. I'm like, I'll just book a flight in miles that had it for like 54,000 miles. It was better than shelling out $1,200+ at that point in time.
For Florida, right.
Yeah. I couldn't. I couldn't do it.
Right.
And I just happened to be looking because I got my upgrades on Sunday, my platinum upgrade first class. And I was looking at the tickets. I was just, because Jeff's like, oh, I think they might be cheaper because he bought his in cash. He's like, I might cancel and rebook the ticket and then take the credit for another flight because Lord knows we're always traveling. Right. I checked the miles. The miles dropped to 37,000 miles round trip. And I just called Delta. I canceled it. They said it could take up to 24 hours. It was like that. And if you have enough miles, you don't have to worry about that. But it was so quickly. They refunded my taxes, and I just rebooked the new ticket. And because I was in my upgrade window for platinum, I was just able to select first class on the way down anyways for my seat selection.
That's amazing. Oh, I forgot taxes are refundable. That's right. I forgot. Yeah. So even with miles, taxes are refundable. That's right.
Yeah, so most of the legacy carriers don't charge a fee for stuff like that.
That's true.
Some of your smaller, more economical airlines, there's little fees like that. But I mean, they are so flexible. Just like I tell you guys with hotels too, always check. Check your prices for everything. Right. You even did that with a hotel recently too. You rechecked.
I did.
And it dropped.
So I stayed in Miami for before the Edge, even though the Edge was in Fort Lauderdale. I had some friends in Miami, so I stayed at a hotel in Miami. That loved the hotel. So I'm not gonna tell you which one it was. So I'm not gonna endorse it. I don't want to talk badly
Well,
about it.
I'm anxious to see which.
But
We have to talk. I don't think you told me which. Oh, because there's two there. I know the brand.
it was the worst. It was the worst one of the two. It wasn't the top one. It was the other one.
Okay.
But it was cheaper. Yeah. So whatever. But yeah. So I just say cancel the reservation, booked it again, and yeah, it was great. So, all right, guys. Well, if you know
So
anything
excited for
about
this
travel, you follow travel accounts on Twitter and Instagram or Facebook, you know it is Travel Weekly's Reader Choice Award season, where they announce the winners of. I mean, there are categories for everything, right? So Haley picked a few for us to briefly go through. Haley, why don't you pick? So we're gonna start with airlines.
Yep. So domestic, international. We have Delta.
Yep.
Business United. So Jason, you and I have talked about the Polaris product now. Some of these first class, like long haul products for you.
I think United's Polaris. I think it beats American and Delta's first class. I just do. United's first class is
100%.
great. I mean, JetBlue's Mint is up there as well. There's just not as many. There's not as many options.
I'm not spending the money on Mint and putting those miles into JetBlue. I mean, yeah, I know they're technically
Right.
American, and that's it. I'm just not.
But Global Network. I mean, I hate. I mean, AA's One World. I mean, it's impressive. I mean,
It's huge.
they have so many carriers, and even now in the States, JetBlue is now part of One World, kind of like it's impressive, right? I mean, so AA Global, I think that makes sense. Overall, Delta, I mean, that makes me happy, Yeah.
Well, and that's what it is. Like, I don't think that Delta's planes are necessarily above and beyond the other legacy carriers.
No.
For me, especially, and I think you being in this industry, the extra customer service that I've experienced compared to the other two major legacy carriers is what made me a little bit more loyal.
Well, and also I've had the American Express Platinum card for so long, and then they're BFFs with Delta. So that's kind of why I just picked Delta. It's like, hey, I can fly economy and still get to the Sky Lounge for free with my Platinum card. So
100%.
Yeah, so good.
Well, I mean,
All
I
right.
use it for my business too, because it's a way for me as a business, because I have the business platinum.
Right.
When my team travels, I've gotten them all sub cards off of that, so they can go to the lounge. Saves me money as an employer. It's a great feature, but they love each other. Rental cars, domestic, enterprise, international, Hertz. I disagree on this domestic one. I have become a national girl. I love it.
So I use Hertz. That's the only company I use. But I rent probably a car. The last time I rented a car was in Honolulu. Like, I just really don't rent cars.
I was making sure you didn't say Maui.
Too soon.
It's been 2.5 years, and it's too soon.
I forgot about that. Too soon.
I will never forget about this ever in my life.
Let's just move on. I did see in the news. Actually, we could have put it in the article. About like 18 customers or so are suing Hertz for a lot of money right now. I don't know if you saw this. Yeah. So Hertz, their inventory system will sometimes get messed up, but it's very old and antiquated. So they'll just report cars as stolen that are not stolen. People have gotten pulled over, even arrested, they have a reservation for the car. And obviously they don't go to jail. I mean, so yeah, I didn't see the article. I just read it. And so they're suing Hertz for a lot of money. So yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah, it's crazy. So Hertz is like, we can't find it. We're going to just file it as a stolen car. Yeah.
But on more so the budget side, I like Alamo usually a bit more than Enterprise actually too. Because what's nice with Alamo is if you're using a credit card for your reservation, they don't take that huge like $500 deposit hold. The only Alamo I've been to that does that is in Cozumel actually. Okay. In 2020, but I don't know. I've just become a National girl, especially with that American Express Platinum card. National and Hertz are the two rental car companies that you get
Right.
priority with. But, I just get that executive aisle. I can walk out, pick whatever car I want, not have to talk to a person until I get to that toll booth to hand over my stuff.
Right.
And it is magic.
I use Hertz. It's not, whatever. Like I said, rental cars are not my thing.
Well, now that I do it more for work, I've gotten to the point now I will pay a good amount of money more to rent with National because it's such a good experience. And I'm very frugal at times with my travel. I like to spread it out, even though Jason picks on me for hotel choices sometimes. But when you're paying $30 a night to stay at a hotel somewhere, I'm all for it. All right, next category, best in hotel. So I almost could have told you this with my eyes closed before I did this list.
So like as someone not in the hotel industry, when I hear best in hotels, domestic Marriott, in my mind, I'm like, okay, JWs, most of them, W's, Westons, yeah, they're great. Like I think those are great properties, but Marriott has so much crap in the United States, like orange carpet, red sofa, crap in the United States. So I am shocked that Marriott won domestic in the U.S. I think their top brands are fantastic, most of them, but I just think like in Nashville, like the new W is beautiful, JW is beautiful, the West is beautiful. We have a lot of crappy Marriotts in Nashville, though. So I'm shocked by this.
So I'm not, because it's not necessarily a style game when it goes into this. They're just the biggest hotel brand. They have, when they acquired Starwood,
right,
Marriott now has over like 30 brands. So like chances are 9 out of 10 times you're going to go into a city, even a small city, and there's going to be at least 4 Marriott hotels, because you could have a Marriott, you could have a 4 Points by Sheraton, you could have a Fairfield, you could have a Ritz, or an Edition, and that's kind of what it is. I think it's more of a quantity approach. IHG in Asia, IHG is putting a ton of money into Asia right now, ton of money. They're creating new brands that are just Asia specific.
Oh, okay.
EU and Hilton, I guess I could see it. I would almost give that a share to Marriott personally, just based on the quantity.
Sure. Okay.
Portion. I think Europe's actually really hard, and I'm kind of surprised it wasn't even a core for Europe, in my opinion. But I mean, that's not as well known here. Mexico, you have Hyatt, those Hyatt Ziva properties.
Well, and also Hyatt, remember buying all those resorts in Mexico, so that makes sense. Hyatt's really
makes complete sense. Now for Caribbean, I put Sandals and I put AI next to it because they also won Best All Inclusive in this category. I just wasn't typing it again.
Yeah, Sandals. Look, if you are wanting mass market luxury all inclusive, it's Sandals. Are there properties nicer than Sandals? Of course there are. But those are getting into true luxury, true luxury. But like mass market.
This is going to be mass market, this list in general.
Right. So yeah, I thought that was a good list.
Luxury, you have the Ritz, but what I love is how Marriott actually has grown their luxury market in different directions. Like, it's not also the old school Ritz-Carlton.
Yes.
Anymore. You have now those Edition hotels that are younger, a little trendier, the W products that are just a different version of luxury. But then they've also taken the Ritz product and created that Ritz Reserve, which is just
it's beautiful.
Money. Yes. It is an experience wrapped into itself. Upscale Westin, I thought this was interesting.
The Westin,
a lot of old-looking Westins. I've seen a lot of old-looking Westins lately.
Yeah, and that's my problem. I can rant. We have to move on, but I can rant about that forever, right? The new Marriott properties, I think, are fantastic. The new ones, they're great, but there's just so much crap. But
Well, I just
anyways,
don't think there's a lot that diversifies like a Westin from a Marriott, a Westin from a full service Hilton product, like the actual Marriott hotel and resort, the actual Hilton hotel. I don't see much difference
I
between
mean, so
those.
in Nashville, like our Weston's probably, I don't know, 6 to 10 years old. Very nice. Our W is brand new. W is across the street from me. I can see it right there. They're not that different. Like they're just in different locations, right? The demographic, the vibe, the feel, the quality, the service is about the same in Nashville. So it's weird that they keep putting, like, I get the JW being here, but JW is a different feel than the Westin.
100%. I
Like
completely.
it's a little bit more classic, not as modern. Like the JW here though is beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. If you're a Marriott fan and you want a nice hotel, JW in Nashville is truly outstanding. So good list. We could spend an hour talking.
I
about
will
this.
have to. I'm going to jump on the last one though. The other ones I think we get the just Marriott, but the mid-price hotel Hampton. I am such a fan of this brand. I don't necessarily stay at it personally as much anymore, but Hampton used to be its own brand before Hilton actually acquired it. Hilton doesn't acquire hotel brands very often. And I feel like that brand just does so good for casual business travel during the week. It caters to family. Like it's this weird brand that can just cater to kind of it all on a
I've,
surface.
I've stayed at Hamptons and they're nice.
Well, but like think about it, they're so different than a Fairfield, a Comfort. Like the Hampton brand just is a completely different vibe. It's I may be a little biased because I grew up with that brand, but I love it. Our last one, which I think everybody in here is going to be excited for, since we have so many cruisers.
Yes.
Domestic Carnival. How do you feel about that?
I mean, look, Carnival. So their main focus is domestic, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't really focus on South America. They don't really focus on Europe that often. They basically ignore Asia. So I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, Carnival leaves from the most ports in the United States.
Yes, they do. I think a
Right?
lot of people forget that too.
Like someone called me yesterday. They've done a lot of Carnival. They want to try Royal Caribbean, and they're like, "Hey, can we leave from the Carolinas?" And I was like, "No, only Carnival does that." Right? So Carnival has a consistent presence in New Orleans. They have a consistent presence in the Carolinas. They're every Florida port.
I think they're somewhere up in Maryland. They do Baltimore, don't they?
Baltimore. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and as much as I know that there's some people that like to tease about Carnival, but Carnival is in itself a great entry level product, and it's a great accessible product if your budget's tight. You're not always having to fly to Florida.
Right.
To go fly, like the Northeast can go to Baltimore or the Carolinas. It's nice. I think it's a great entry level product, and if it gets people cruising and trying new things, I think that's great.
I know, that's great. So to quickly move through some of these, Alaska went to Princess. If you've heard Haley and I talk on the show, Princess is great. If you're doing northbound,
the full experience, too.
Right. So if you're just doing a round trip from Seattle, it doesn't matter as much. Just pick the ship and the cruise line you like best. But if you're doing a southbound or northbound with the cruise tour, no one does it better than Princess/Holland. They use the same stuff. That's great. Caribbean, the award for best cruise line in the Caribbean went to Royal Caribbean. That makes total sense. I mean, their private island, which is at the bottom, is just, it's second to none. Coco Cay is fantastic. So the Caribbean went to Royal Caribbean. That's their bread and butter. They focus on it. Europe went to Celebrity again.
Shocking.
So it makes sense, guys, right? But look at where the ships are in the summer, right? In the summer, you're going to have all the Oasis class ships sailing Caribbean, Bahamas, right? Oasis, even though it's going to be, up north, going to be sailing. I mean, they leave the Oasis class in the summer here.
Yeah, they maybe send one over
when it's doing a dry dock. Right? They always send it over to you when it's doing a dry dock, or it's first season, they'll leave it there. Meanwhile, Celebrity is sending the Edge, the Apex, and leaving the Beyond in Europe, right? So and they're going to have some Solstice class ships sailing around, usually one Millennium class ship sailing around. So, I mean, Celebrity.
And there's more itinerary options because Celebrity does have smaller ships, generally speaking.
Absolutely. So Celebrity winning
Europe,
Europe
that's
again.
so important.
No
I mean,
surprise.
And then Hawaii's a no-brainer. You have Pride of America that goes around there.
That's easy.
Premium, I got to give a hats off to Celebrity here, Jason. I think Celebrity has done a really good job at diversifying itself from that Holland Princess category. It's like, yes, we're this category, but they've really done a good job at appealing to that Gen X, younger, elder, millennial crowd. Because, it's kind of like, where do these people go that don't want to be surrounded by kids all the time?
Right. But it's like, I feel like I'm too young in some ways for some of the premium cruise lines, and Celebrity fits great. That doesn't mean there's not older people. I mean,
there definitely is.
I've gone on Royal Caribbean and seen old people, right? I mean, so.
But they made premium not stuffy as well, too.
Yes. It's a modern approach to premium. Got rid of formal night, now it's evening chic. It's, it's like you can wear jeans. They're nice jeans. I mean, they've just done a really good job at redefining what a premium experience is. Luxury went to Regent, not surprised. River, Viking, not surprised. Family went to Carnival.
I thought that was a little interesting twist, but I mean,
it makes sense.
It makes sense, I think, on, again, that mass market conversation. I'm surprised that you didn't see a little Disney in here for family, maybe.
There's just not as many people. That's right. If I had to vote best family, I would vote Disney. Personally, I would put Disney. Entertainment, Royal Caribbean. I mean, look, Royal Caribbean Entertainment is, I think, clear number one. Number two would be Norwegian. They're also kind of trying to follow them in the shows and stuff. I mean, they're great. We talked about the private island, and I think you mean cuisine instead of cuisine.
Yeah, I was making some French. I was typing fast, but yes, cuisine goes to Oceania.
Oceania, they're known for their food. I mean, Oceania is just, they're good. So yeah, best cruise lines. So awesome. A little something for all of them.
All right, so our follower question of the week is going to come from Bill. Omicron has already had an impact on mask requirements. Are there any predictions as how it will impact cruises in general? And I think we even got a question in the comments section. Are they going to change the child policy now that they can be vaxxed? I think that can get grouped right in here.
So it's a little bit of wish casting. I hope they require everyone to be vaccinated, hands down, no questions asked. What about children? They can't go.
Yeah.
Right? Until children can be vaccinated, I don't think they should be on a cruise with something spreading as much as this. I also think it's possible the definition of what being fully vaccinated is going to mean. Right? I think if you became fully vaccinated in 2021 and you're more than 9 months out, I think fully vaxxed, the definition may turn into plus a booster, right? So, I mean, if it's December 2022, am I still fully vaxxed right as it is right now? Probably not, right? We will probably all get another booster shot 2022 every year, right? Look, when I got my booster shot, I got the flu shot, booster shot, same time, right? You did too, right?
Yep, sure did.
So I could see the definition of what it means to be fully vaxxed changing. I could see the cruise lines start, especially cruise lines that rely on children. So I could see like Celebrity, Princess being like, it's all vaccinated no matter what. Celebrity did it for like a day, then backed off.
Yeah. So. But I think, this is here to stay. Like, it's a virus. It's going to mutate. Mm-hmm. So I don't think seeing like these cases on Symphony, like, ooh, that's crazy. But like with how rampant this new variant is running through things, you're not going to see those numbers reported in hotels because it's so transient. So just keep in mind, just because it's in the news flashing up on a cruise line isn't necessarily a call for doomsday behavior. Like, oh my God, cruising's going to shut down again. I just think we're going to see tightened up policies.
Right. I agree. I think I'm having some connectivity issues here with my AirPods. I apologize.
Oh, are you? No, it's okay. But, I would just say you got to, have a good travel agent, not to Jason here. Have a good travel agent, stay on top of the requirements. And, I could see it going to vax only while it peaks. And keep in mind, this is the time of year it's going to peak. This is when the flu peaks.
Okay, yep. I agree.
So that is it for today. If you guys would like to join our group, we would love to have you. We're now over 500 strong. So if you go to todayintravel.live, that'll bring you to our Facebook group. You can post some of your travel favorites, ask questions. We have people that are broadcasting on different social media networks, so you can get an idea of who's traveling, so you can peek in on a trip or ship that maybe you want to try. And this is going to be our last official broadcast of this year. We will pick up after the new year on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. Any other parting thoughts? We might do an after hours while I'm on the summit next week, but
reflection.
Yeah. Oh my God, did I say summit? Maybe I was manifesting that because I just look at you and I think the summit.
Reflection. Yeah, I love the summit. I wish I could the summit soon. Yeah. So guys, keep it here. She's going on the Celebrity Reflection. She'll be posting lots of content. Guys, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year.
Absolutely. See you later, guys.